What's up, Rockstars? How's it going? Today I have a news video for you. This is just happening pretty much live right now, just in this last day or so. I wanted to talk about the CMON shipping and how outrageous it is, what the issue is. We're going to go over a lot of logistics, a lot of data points. We're going to go through it all. Thank you to my channel sponsor, Into the AM. Support the channel and get an awesome premium shirt I designed with them by using the link in the description below to purchase Eternal Guardian. From the lopsided crown, wolves, Norse throne, and more, this shirt is spectacular, and you can save 10% off when buying this fantastic shirt. Check it out and many other awesome shirts via the link down below. As always, I'd like to start with a huge shout out to my patrons and YouTube members. It is through their financial support that this channel is possible. If you appreciate the videos I make every single week for you guys and you can't give even $1 a month, there is a link down in the description below. Thank you so much. That out of the way, let's go ahead and dive right into this. So if you didn't know, CMON's shipping for Marvel Zombicide is over double, 100% increase from what they announced or what they posted it would be just a little bit ago. Right here, we actually have their campaign page, which is locked, by the way, so there's no fussing about it. This is what was on the campaign page. They can't change this. And the key I want to show here is the resistance pledge here. You can see for most states, it's about $45 for one wave, about $64 for 2 waves. This is a compilation that people have made there's actually a Discord server just for Marvel Zombicide shipping, and this is on it for the US. Resistance pledge, no add-ons, base cost $240, one wave is $74, they had posted it as $45. 2 wave was $64, they posted it to $120. So again, like a huge increase there in price, like a ton, right? I mean, that's a lot. You can see some of the other stuff here and kind of the prices that people are seeing. Again, this is just here in the US, so we're going to look at some other numbers. Of course, with most pledge managers, the numbers are a little funny. It is not an exact science. It is easy to overcharge, and that is because of the tool set that they use. It's just not a very good tool set, though it's kind of hard to do that. But when it's high numbers, people start looking, right? They start looking, okay, well, if I have the Hungry and I add the Devourer, it's $199. But if I have the Devourer and add the Hungry, so the same items, it's $201, right? So obviously there is an issue there in the pledge manager. So the number you're getting is not exact, but I don't want you guys to focus on that because that is most campaigns. You just don't notice because it's an acceptable price and you click back. Or it's so small like this, it's just a couple dollars difference. The only reason people are making flowcharts like this is, well, this is not a flowchart, I don't know why I said that, is because the pricing is so much more. But yeah, over double. Right, so 100+ increase. That's just the US. It gets worse elsewhere. Let's go ahead and take a look at a few comments, and that'll drive the conversation I'm going to have with you guys. So Joseph here, let me zoom in a little bit on this, says, my shipping cost is nearly double what was estimated during the project. Shipping costs have not doubled in a few months. This is fraud. In other words, he's saying this is what you said it was going to be. And now just a few months later, it hasn't been that long since this campaign. Now you're saying it's over double, but I don't think the prices have over doubled. Well, I agree, Joseph. I do not think the prices have over doubled. So that is two things. Either they are overcharging right now, probably to cover some costs, so they don't cover VAT, so you still have to pay VAT. So this is this is not VAT included here. So either they're inflating it to cover like the Galactus pledge, perhaps the shipping is actually lower on that than what it would be. That's going to be massively huge. Or they lowballed it in the campaign. I would argue this was lowballed to an extent. I think it's a little bit of both. I think this is a little bit probably low, and I think now they're probably a little bit high. Now, why would they be high? We're going to actually talk about that in a little bit. There'll be another comment that'll kind of drive that conversation. I'll talk about it then, but there might be a reason why they're charging more now than what they would, but I think it's wrong. And so we'll get to that. Steve here says, whatever the actual price, Jay, this was a response, is not wrong about shipping. The group that tracks container costs, World Container Index, shows that price has been trending down and has fallen 12% in March and are continuing down. Shipping is cheaper now than when the KS was live, according to them. So if you didn't know, the reason we're talking about containers here is because that is what raised. Shipping hasn't actually raised that much. Freight has. So one thing I want to drive home is that when you back something on Kickstarter, they call it shipping, but it's really freight plus shipping. Most things you buy has the freight already included in the price, and you're just paying to ship from the warehouse to your location, right? Wherever that may be. When you buy something on Amazon or something like that, or on a retail online store or anything like that, that's what it is. You're paying from their warehouse to your location. Freight is bringing it to that warehouse. And when we back on Kickstarter, you are getting charged both. So the shipping price includes freight in it. They are not including that in the price. It's very different from what you normally back, or what you normally buy, I should say. So freight is what increased because the shipping containers on the ship that, goes across the ocean, that was a commodity that is a lot less than now and is very strained. Higher increase in demand, and also issues logistically in getting them back and stuff like that. So the size of what you ship is much more important than the weight. Those shipping containers, those ships, don't care too much about how much your product weighs. They care about how much space it takes up in a container. So the bigger items you have, like a Galactus or like a whole bunch of big boxes, then the more that freight goes higher. If you're buying something small, it honestly hasn't changed that much. Your little spot in the container is not it exasperates the issue when it's larger. So that's the issue. And what they're saying is freight has actually gone down since then. So it was more expensive to ship here than it was here. So why did it double in price? Well, that's why the first comment is calling this fraud, I would imagine, because you're not seeing any other campaigns do this. No other Kickstarters are doing this. This is just CMON saying it's now double what we've posted. Even Chronicles of Druidgar, people ran the numbers, often was not double. And that was a very rookie team doing that versus CMON, who just did their 50th campaign with this. So they should know what they're doing here. Let's keep going down. This is my first time backing a pledge. I want to get a refund. How much am I going to get? They say that we'll get 10% processing fee. Brandon says, FYI, the 10% is the money Kickstarter took. CMON doesn't take it anymore, doesn't have it anymore to give it back. That is false. Kickstarter takes 5%, not 10%. But a lot of people say 10%. Let's discuss why. There's one more comment here saying, this is the person responding, no, 5% is chaos. That is true. Kickstarter only takes 5%. Kickstarter does not take 10%. They say 10% because 5 to 10% goes to the pledge manager. Now that's actually false as well. And because we know the pledge manager they're doing and their numbers, we can calculate it. So let's go ahead and do that. It says check for yourselves if you want. Let's do that. Okay. Marvel Zombies, a Zombicide game, had 28,974 backers and raised $9,032,583. Okay. They are using BackerKit for their pledge manager. That's what this is right here. BackerKit has a nice pricing thing where you can put in the raised amount and the number of backers. This is the numbers that they went to BackerKit with, and you click estimate my campaign fee. The campaign fee to use BackerKit is $105,958.41 for CMON. Now, there is a transaction fee, but this transaction fee only goes with people putting in money in there, right? So that would include shipping. That would include extra add-ons, stuff like that. There's a 3.5% fee on that. But 3.5% plus 5% is not 10. This percentage right here, by the way, is exactly this. It is a 1.1. The bigger you are, the less percentage they charge you here. So they were charged 1.1% in their pledge manager. And then only on added funds, another 3.5. Otherwise, this is 1.1%. Okay. So it's not 10%. Even if you had all three of those together, it's not 10%. Okay. So that 10% is kind of a general thing because every pledge manager is different. But in this one, we know exactly what they were charged, and it was 1.1% of your pledge that you put in Kickstarter, they no longer have based off the pledge manager. And then 5% from Kickstarter. So that's 6.1% is what they do not have in their pocket. If you don't add anything into the pledge manager, that's what they don't have. Not 17.5, not 10, none of that. Okay. All that is just extra cash in their pocket. Okay. So let's keep going here. Okay. So Steve says, fun fact, It's actually cheaper for me to pre-order Galactus from the game Steward and ship it to Australia using FedEx than Galactus from the Pledge Manager and paying them $180 in shipping. And that is what this other person did to Sydney. So if you are in this predicament, okay, feel free to look at this. Retail gets it much cheaper. They don't. If you thought that they're charging you what it costs and they have very thin margins on Galactus or anything like that, you're wrong. They very much have a margin here. They're making profit, at least 30%, I would assume, anywhere from 50 to 30%, maybe even more, especially for something like Galactus, which is kind of a specialty novelty thing that they already charged quite a bit for. So when they sell it to Game Steward, they are selling it less than what they sold it to you, even though they're making it in the same factory, even though it's shipping on the same freight. Because Game Steward bought more, they are selling it for less. And that doesn't mean they're losing money on that. They'll still be making money on that sale too, just not as much as they made when you bought it. So you can actually get it from Game Steward, who can actually ship it cheaper because it's just shipping, not freight. So it's just the shipping, and they can actually even put a lower price because they can have money and still put it lower than what you would have done. So feel free to shop around. If you can get it through something like that, through a retailer, go ahead and do that. Save yourself some money. Now, you might be stuck in the Pledge Manager here, right? And that's the problem. We're going to get to that in a little bit too. But there are avenues if you did not. If you're planning on adding things later, you can take a look here. Okay. Blurb, which is a great name, said, I almost feel bad for CMON. Why? It's going to make them very bad publicity. CMON is full of bad publicity. They've been that way for years. So I don't think they're too bothered by it. They must be in please under the refunding requests. That last part doesn't make any sense, so I'm not going to worry about that. I just liked the Air D&D Next Time Baby said Woody Harrelson crying into money gif. I mean, yeah, they made $9 million and they're making millions more here. And anybody who cancels, they just get to make their copy anyway and sell it for the same profit. So they're just making money, and no matter what, they gotcha. Now, is that short-sighted? Yes. Is that a publicly traded company? Yes. Those two go hand in hand. We can move on from that. Those are the same thing. Okay, John Thomas Marsh says, that's not how it works in reality. I posted some quick math, and CMON is going to make money on shipping alone. I didn't find that math. If assuming the average person has to pay $100, they're making about $3 million here. Again, that's not profit. They do have to pay for shipping and stuff. Also, retail are selling all ends lower than what it would be if it went through the PM plus shipping. Already covered that. Very true. That's actually often the case. I could buy Shield right now for less than the cost of the Kickstarter because the retailer got a big discount and then ups it a little bit, but still under the Kickstarter thing. And you don't have to pay the freight plus shipping, just the shipping. So yeah, it's often quite good there. The profit margin on this has to be extremely high, especially this volume. I said this in my first covering. They are definitely making a higher profit on this thanks to the Marvel license and your inability to not back it. It's what I'm the same way with like Star Wars stuff, or if this was DC, I might be in the same boat as you guys struggling right now with it. IP works. We all love IP. It's why movies are the way they are. It's why games are the way they are these days. It's just common business sense. Let's also say CMON cares about protecting minis. Marvel United says hi. That's why I wanted to come here on this one. So if you didn't know, CMON is actually in a world of trouble anyway, because Marvel United, the X-Men is delivering, and a ton of people are getting actually broken minis, broken trays. They're very cheap on the plastic trays, and there's a lot of loose parts going on in there, and so people are getting a lot of damages, so a lot more than normal actually. As CMON progresses, it actually is lowering in quality. I've discussed this. I've unboxed them since Massive Darkness 1. So like, and I've seen the lower in quality there when it comes to their plastic trays and stuff like that. It just tends to be getting cheaper, which is unfortunate. And then you get higher breaking things there. In fact, if you do submit for a refund or for a fix or anything like that, you're going to get an email back from CMON saying that they are receiving a higher volume than normal tickets. That was already the case before this based off of just the Marvel United. So that's how I know it was already an issue. They were already getting more than they're used to. this the refunds from Marvel Zombicide just adding to it. Now, there's always the option to combine items. Look at other games from CMON. It's not just CMON. And tell me the boxes are completely full, especially add-ons and expansions. They want big boxes so they look good on retail shelves. That right there. The reason that you'll get something, I'm going to use my mouse here as an example, but a mouse actually has a little bit more because it's movement. But if you get something like a pair of headphones or any kind of electronic device, often they'll put weights in there to make it heavy. The reason they make it heavy is because it feels better. This is cheap plastic, and if it didn't have weights in it, it would feel like a toy. Now, I view the quality of something, I'll often by the weight. We as humans do that. It's why they add weights into expensive electronic items. They're actually super light, but they make them heavier artificially just so they feel more premium to you. Well, the same goes for a box on a shelf in a store. If they are charging $40 for that expansion and it's only 13 characters, they could make that very small. But then you look at this and you're like, I don't want to pay $14 for this, or $40 for this or whatever. But if they make the box bigger, it looks better and it makes you feel like you're buying something more. It's not really for the shelves uniform look. That's a very small part of it. It's mainly retail, so it looks good. So remember the containers, it's size. It's how much space you take. So when you're inflating the size of your product to make it look bigger than it needs to be, in other words, it's not as efficient as it can be to ship. It's not as cheap as it can be to ship. They are artificially, purposely making it more expensive to ship so that it looks better on that retail store, store shelf. So that is a very valid point, and it's not just CMON that does that, and I do not like it. It adds to your storage here. That sounded weird. It makes your storage more of an issue. It makes your shipping more expensive. You're paying more and having a harder time storing it, all because they want it to look good on a shelf. That's dumb. I've said this before, and that's completely right. Okay, this one, Dave says $72 for shipping, more than double the estimate. Again, more than double from just a few months ago, and shipping has gone down, not up. Less than others on here. Some said 168. It gets a lot more than that. People are saying 300, 400. But I got Chronicles of Drunagar all in, which is about 3 times the weight for about the same shipping cost. If Chronicles of Drunagar is a better deal, you've done something wrong. We've already covered the Chronicles of Drunagar thing. They had a whole slew of updates about how crap happens and how it's terrible and how they're trying to fix it and how nobody's happy. And that was better than this. That's how bad of an issue this is. That's quite telling. Okay, Edvin says, should we start a pool for how long they'll continue to ignore the catastrophe that's unfolding here? This is fine.gif. They ignore all comments, especially after they have had your money. Now that the campaign's over, you will not be getting responses from CMON in the comments at all. Those people are not there anymore, and you will be getting very minimal updates, just the kind of the normal stuff as they move on to whatever their next campaign, their 51st campaign will be. Mike All-In Hutton, we'll hear from him in a little bit, says, you mean like they have with all the broken crap people got from the Marvel United? Again, that's been a dumpster fire. Multiple people saying it. I've seen it on Facebook too, and just it's bad. It's bad. Okay. Here's Mike again. Now, this is funny because he talks about putting in $1, but then his name is All In, and he normally goes all in. Like, I've seen him comment before. It's just funny that he posted that there. Okay, this is a good one here. David says, after this shipping BS, I plan on only going $1 for future campaigns to talk crap. I am forced to pay $200, well over twice what was quoted. Okay, so let's talk about that. More and more and more, I am learning, David learned, other people are learning, the incentive to put in more money in the campaign is not actually that high. In fact, you're almost punished for it. Everybody that put in $1 to up in the pledge manager can now get out scot-free. They don't even need the refund. They lost $1. Very little risk to them. Shipping doubles, guess what? They don't care. Okay, I'm not going to do it. Everybody that put in $600 or more in there now has to decide, I'm losing money either way. Either I'm going to lose 10% or I'm going to lose by paying the shipping. Either way, I've lost. So what CMON is teaching us here is do not put money in their campaign. back at $1. It's the best thing you can do for yourself. Now, you might even like have to pay for an early bird thing or something like that, but $10 extra or whatever is a small price to pay for the ability, the safety, the guarantee that you are not committed to this, that if things go south, if shipping goes crazy, if they do something stupid, if something bad happens, you can pull out and be totally fine. You are safe. When I lost my pledge, like if I'd only put $1 in and instead of only paying for shipping, I was going to put in shipping plus back the item and I only had $1, I wouldn't even have to deal with the refund or anything like that. It would have been no skin off my back. But I was dumb. I put money into there early, and as a reward, I'm punished. As a reward, all these people are punished. The incentive to put in money early is simply not there anymore. The deals just aren't there anymore. People have made whole videos and topics and blog posts about how the deal of Kickstarter is evaporating. And now when stuff like this happens, it's just proving what they really need is $28,001 backers. And unless they want to change how they're doing things, that's the best thing to do. And I agree. I'm glad somebody else is saying what I've been saying lately to my patrons incessantly. Okay, here's JB here. We're going to end on this one and then one more. Usually Kickstarter general outrage is laughable or misguided. Probably true. I don't know. I don't read the comments actually as much as people might think. But this one's completely legitimate. Well done. These prices do not reflect real shipping prices. We already established that container costs have gone down. And CMON is 100% sticking it to us and making a hefty margin here, especially since logistics costs have been going down over the past few months. Again, he's not the only one saying that. More than a year before shipping. That's another key point. They are charging right now, but they are not shipping right now. They are shipping well later. And if the trend needle's down, guess what's going to keep going down probably? Everybody's expecting the shipping to continue to go down. Will it ever reach how low it was? No, nobody's expecting that, but we are expecting it to continue to go down. So if they're charging now and it's already double what they said they were going to do months ago when it was higher, how much profit are they going to get from this? As their actual cost is not reflected there, and they can't reflect it here. This is not possible. More than a year before shipping too, on top charging, this is completely dishonest. If they are afraid of shipping hiking, just do what most Kickstarters do. Keep the pledge manager open closer to shipment and charge real price, which again, they're not doing. They're charging way early. As they are obviously going the other way around, the only rationale explanation is that they are willingly making a horrendous margin on, well, it's not horrendous to them, on our back on shipping. That's just how things work here. Okay, so last one here. John Thomas Marsh says, CMON isn't new to this. I said this earlier. This is their 50th Kickstarter. They know exactly what they are doing. They know more than almost any other company how to ship a game on Kickstarter, how to ship all these products, how to do this, how to get all of this stuff to work logistically. They could have locked in shipping costs plus insurance for unplanned added DDC shipping fees. We locked in shipping from China months ago for hardware we were getting in late 2022 and 2023. This way we can budget. If I was to bet, CMON will make a healthy profit from shipping alone. Remember, this isn't shipping in over a year, and shipping costs are expected to continue to drop. I hope they use my $1 and hire a logistics person. Luckily, John is not hit by this because he was a smart backer and backed it only $1. Something I need to learn how to do, something hopefully some of you will learn how to do. It's very hard, but I do want to start practicing this. I think it's better for my wallet and it's safer for my wallet. And because my wallet is funded by my patrons, I don't want to waste them. I feel like I wasted them before. I don't want to do that. Definitely, at least with CMON for sure. Back at $1, it seems. So anyway, that's the situation. It's pretty obvious that CMON is not charging the correct price. In fact, it's impossible for them to do this early on. And then to over double it within a few months when shipping costs have gone down, and then artificially inflating the amount of space they need to do it so it's already more expensive than it should be because they are concerned about retail, the same retail that's selling it and shipping it cheaper than them. There is no single part of this that makes CMON look competent or a good deal. This is a terrible deal and a terrible, terrible mark for consumers on Kickstarter. And it's really, really unfortunate. Very unfortunate that they're doing this, and they can do it in the light of day. That they have their numbers here. We have the container prices going down. All of this is information you can get. You can see exactly how much Backer Kit charges them. And so when they say 10%, then you know they're just keeping some of your money because it didn't cost them that much. Backer Kit's not even saying they charge them that much. And why would they? They don't care. It's very unfortunate that so much of this happened, that so many of you are getting such a raw deal. I feel so bad. It's such a bummer that this has happened and that they've been able to do this. It'll be interesting to see what their 51st campaign brings. Hopefully people are learning from this and getting good practices when it comes to dealing with CMON, which to me sounds like dollar pledge. So let me know what numbers you're getting. Let me know what you're seeing. I can always update information as I get it. I did try to do a lot of research here. I read hundreds and hundreds of comments and, looked into the Backer Kit thing and asked around. And it's unfortunate, but it's such an obvious thing too, what's going on. And really, really unfortunate. All right, that's it, guys. That's all I had. I just wanted to share this with you so that if you didn't back this, you were aware. Keep vigilant on Kickstarter, on GameFound. When you're backing, do look at that dollar pledge. I don't like encouraging that, but unless they give me a good reason, an actual incentive to put your money in there, and not by punishment, but by reward. In other words, not by punishing dollar backers, but by rewarding people that, give them money, then I will say otherwise. But right now, I'm not seeing that across many campaigns. There's no reason to put that money into the campaign. Why? So you'll unlock some stretch goals that are bogus anyway, that are just going to add to the cost anyway, that are probably unbalanced or a shoe-in anyway. No. Put the dollar in there and be proud about it. And if they want your money more, they got to earn it. It's about time we start putting that towards the reward part of this, and not just getting it last and paying more for it. That's getting really, really old. All right, that's it. That's all I had. Take care, guys. Have a wonderful day. Bye.